there, dear story manifestor. I am so glad you're here. On this channel, we give you writing pep talks, writing mindset advice, and all things storytelling. I'm Leah Falls, writer, actor, and mindset coach. And today is the first of our Kozy Kombucha Time. Not sponsored, where I will be talking a little bit about my personal writing journey, publishing plans, and that's what we're doing today. I just made a 3-year publishing plan, and I will just talk about it. So this is a little bit more casual than our normal videos. Yeah, let's jump in. Alright, let's start. No, I know how to do this. You know, I know how to do this. Nailed it. Lavender, chamomile, jasmine, green tea. That's Pride edition, so that makes me happy. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about my personal writing goals, publishing goals, because well, I finished writing my debut novel I sort of finished it in last November, and then it's been going through a few more edits, but right now I am finished. I handed it off to my professional editor, who will be taking care of it in October, so this is probably going to be coming out in July. October till December is the professional edit. She was booked out a little bit, so it's pushed back a bit. And yeah, I finished writing it. I'm gonna make 1 or 2 small adjustments, but I've been working on this book for about 3 years, and it's finished. So and this is funny because the book is called Goddess of Limbo, and I felt like I've been a little bit in limbo since finishing it, because I didn't want to go and start a sequel yet, just because I wanted to make sure that everything is exactly, set. But I also wasn't quite sure which project to settle on next. So I started a few different projects, just kind of tried around a little bit. I started a play. I used to write a lot of plays, and I do intend to finish it. I did the whole NaNoWriMo thing, which I discovered wasn't quite for me, because while I can write that amount of words, I much prefer doing that for a second draft, not the first draft, because I'm very much a discovery writer, and to discover, you really need to listen to your characters, stay exactly in the moment, and stay very emotionally alert. So if you have to do that every day, you might have troubles listening at some point. So yeah, that wasn't really my thing. This feels so weird because I normally have bullet points. I mean, there are bullet points in my journal here, but I should probably use them. I have been jumping a little bit from project to project since finishing my book, and I now have settled on exactly what I want to do, and I'm really excited about that. So let me go back a little bit in case you're watching this channel for the first time. I hope you can't hear the siren. Well, now you can, because I pointed it out! I have seen a lot of tea talks and coffee talks, and I always like them, and I like watching them, but it's so hot and the windows are closed, so I could not bring myself to drink tea. But it has tea in it, so it counts. If it's the first time you're hearing about my book in general and my writing journey, let me give you a little bit of a background story. So I started writing an epic fantasy book in 2017 because I fell in love with the story. It was love at first sight with the characters, and the world just kept expanding, and it was really fun because my wife and I, it was originally her world, except it doesn't look like it at all anymore, and we played it during a D&D game, but then that character that I played, like, her backstory got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then her love interest backstory got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then her love interest's mother had like the real story, and now neither my character nor the love interest are in the book. But the mother, she's a star. Anyway, that sounds all very chaotic, because it was. And when I originally sat down to write, I didn't actually know I was writing a book. I had written short films before, I had written I had worked on a feature project before, I had written plays before, I'd written short stories before and poetry, but I always knew I wanted to write a full-length novel. I always knew I would want to write a full-length novel as soon as I could pronounce it. And that day has now come. Full-length novel. So, I always knew I wanted to write a full-length novel, but I still didn't say it. I always knew I wanted to write a book, but the timing of it never quite seemed feasible. And after graduation, things were quite chaotic for me. I got an office job for a while, and that's not my life at all. And I needed something to keep me sane, and that story became that something. And that story became bigger and bigger, and I so fell in love with it. And I'm honestly gonna say, like, it's my biggest fandom, and it's silly because it's technically my story, but I just, all the feels. That's what I've been working on. I started just writing in it, just more fan fiction to a D&D game, and then stuff started developing, and I realized, like, hey, this is turning into something. And since then, it has completely changed. It bears no resemblance to the first draft, luckily, wonderfully. But it is now an epic fantasy series. I can give you the book blurb. Give me 1 second. If I move, am I going to be out of focus? How do cameras work? Okay, I'm just going to reach it with my foot. I definitely reached this phone with my foot, and my lovely Mia did not have to come in and check if the focus is still working. You believe me, right? You believe me. Shh, laptop, we're filming. Okay, I just brought up my book blurb because I'm still not the greatest at memorizing, like, describing what my book's about, but I'm getting there. But just as an overview, so it's an epic adult fantasy. It's going to be a series. It's going to be a 7-book series, and all of them are planned out. Yes, as I said, I'm a big fan of the story. The series is called Forgotten Splinters Chronicles, and the first book is going to be Goddess of Limbo. And here is actually, just to describe the style a little bit, it's sort of Game of Thrones style in narrative, so there's going to be a lot of different perspectives. It's going to be, there is, the book is written, trust me, it is. Cheers to that. And it's exploring a lot of different facets of the world, but all stories are interweaved and connected and come to a unified spot. The first book is called Goddess of Limbo, and this is the blurb. What breaks a soul? What heals it? When the soul of gentle goddess Alamus splinters, her utopia falls into endless war and strife. Vast gods contorted the world for 1,000 years until a group of seemingly unconnected outcasts reclaimed their agency and challenged the status quo. Brilliant physicist Alexandra Ali Verdane fights against her title of Mad Princess and the council that forced it upon her. Captain Subira Zeazana is torn between her toxic marriage and a stagnant war. The starving serf Richard Kilburn throws himself into the arms of a fey demon to save his son, and teenage rebel Vonna Ackerman trades her guitar for a blade in the face of ruthless nobility. When Alamus' celestial light reappears and the lines between nations and realms thin, a new era is born. Dun dun dun! I am so excited about this. Honestly, writing the blurb was harder than writing the book. The blurb definitely had more drafts. But you know what? It describes it now. It describes the story. Hooray! That is my debut novel, and it's coming out in June 2021, next year. June next year. So as I'm recording this, in a year, I'm gonna be holding my book already when I'm recording this. It's gonna be out there. Yes! So where I'm at in the process for that right now is, it's waiting to be edited, and I'm currently creating a lot of content around it. I'm creating some, like, marketing images, aesthetics, things to share, things to, like, you know, spread the word around it already. Because I was planning to do it for a year. There is a newsletter, so I can't put a link in here. Go into the description. There's going to be a link in there, I'm sure. Future Leia, put a link in there. Of course, past Leia, I'll do that happily. I miss my kombucha. Well, suck it. So while Goddess of Limbo is waiting for the edit, I'm currently working on a contemporary novel. I mentioned before that I originally tried to query Goddess of Limbo and I wanted to have it traditionally published, but actually it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make second sense either to traditionally publish because it is long. It's a full epic fantasy, so it's going to be about 700 pages. And it is a series fully planned through, and I am dead set on finishing that series and writing it all out. I would not abandon the characters, and so all of those aren't really the best factors for traditional publishing. And I've been really a fan of indie publishing anyway. I have some indie books that I really like. I have indie authors that I talk to, so I decided it was the right way for me. That being said, I do want to still be traditionally published. So I'm currently working on a contemporary book that I plan to query. Oh, please don't expect a blurb for that. I'm about 20,000 words in. I think by the time you're watching it, it's going to be around 25,000, so about a third through. It's called, at the moment, titles also change. Did you know that? Titles change. It's currently called A Few Spots Past the Sun, and it is, I do have a plot line and a log line. I do have a log line for that. Let me see if I have that somewhere. I don't. Do I remember it? No, I'm gonna wing it. Okay, I'm gonna wing it. So what the basic idea is, it's an adult contemporary story. That's my cat. Hi, Victor. Everyone, meet Victor. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. So the idea behind A Few Spots Past the Sun is it's a adult contemporary, and it is a platonic love story. So it's all about friendship. I have hairs on my face. Victor has love leaves a mark. It's an adult contemporary story. I've said this 15 times now, but probably by the time I cut it, it's the first time I said it. It's an adult contemporary story. And it's a platonic love story because it's going to be all about friendship. It's about two kids that are in the foster system, meet each other there, and find home in each other. That almost sounds like a log line. I'm very proud. Also, it's very queer. It's set in San Francisco, where I studied, and it's all the nostalgia right now. How about I actually go into the publishing plan now? So let me, can I both hold? Oh, there we go. That's how books work. Okay, so I was feeling quite lost in terms of figuring out how I'm going to plan everything because you know, as writers, I'm sure you can relate, there's a lot of shiny new ideas that keep popping up, and it's sometimes difficult to figure out what to prioritize and what you actually want to go with and what you don't want to go with. While I'm really happy that I gave myself the opportunity to kind of switch between projects for a couple of months to really figure out which one I want to work on, I also wanted now to figure out, you know, how I'm going to structure things. I decided to make a breakdown like this for the next 3 years. Actor Leia, know thy frame. You can see this, right? Yeah, about this. So there's nothing on here, as you can see. So yeah, that's kind of my plan, and I'm gonna go over it a little bit, just to give you guys an insight into, and girls and non-binary people, into my publishing and writing plan. Because while I'm filming this, I have decided I'm going to do this more often because it's kind of nice to. Did the camera just make a sound? Love, I think the camera made a sound. So I am planning to have the first draft of A Few Spots Past the Sun done in September. Now, the more ambitious part of me is hoping to get it done a little bit quicker, what I'm currently doing, I'm writing it a little bit unorthodoxly. It's also not next to me. I'll tell you about that some other times, but I'm handwriting it. There's several reasons. One of them is that I have chronic migraines, so Victor cannot decide if you want to be in the shot or not. Just my little diva. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're good. We're all good. Should I drink kombucha at that point? I think so, right? Yes, that's the real good sign. I'm handwriting the first draft for two reasons. One, I do believe that writing things for hand can really get you out of the perfection mode a little bit, because you need to transcribe everything anyway, and you can make everything prettier, even for the first draft, prettier as you're transcribing it. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be type worthy yet. And also you're also kind of more connected, I think, with your subconscious easily, because we're used to we look at screens all day. So this is another video. I'm gonna make a video about why I'm handwriting it for the craft reasons. And the other reason is that I have chronic migraines, especially in the summer with thunderstorms, so it's just nicer for myself. I'm hoping to finish that in August, but I'm giving myself till September to finish it. I will keep you updated. It's going pretty well. I'm writing about my plan right now is to write about 500 pages a day, which is about 1,000 words. Sometimes I only write like 3 pages. Some days get skipped, obviously. Things happen. And I'm juggling a lot of things right now, but my goal is 5 pages a day. Now, in September, I'm going to take my lovely Goddess of Limbo draft that was finalized and not done and everything finished one more time to change one character name and one aesthetic description, just because I realized that it wasn't super problematic, but generally a little culturally insensitive. So I'm trying to polish that part up a little bit more. And I'm changing one character name because one character in the book is called Kaligash, and the main character of A Few Spots Past the Sun is called Kali. And I don't want people to think of them as the same character. A few things. Are you playing something, love?
I actually was, yeah.
Shush! How dare you! Should I send the antelope after her? You will have mercy once. So those tiny edits I will do in September and then get it sent off ready in October. Alright, decision has been made. I am mostly through my kombucha, which means that Kozy Kombucha hour is almost over. And I also don't think you want to hear me rambling about my writing and publishing journey for an hour. And if you do, yay! Awesome! Welcome to this channel. Subscribe. I will be talking more, because it's a talking channel. And so I'm just going to finish up my plan for this year, and then we're gonna go into the 3-year plan in another vlog, because I think I expected you all to know more, and I expected myself to be brief, and I want to point out again, 700-page debut novel. But it needs the length. I'm telling you, it needs the length. It's an epic. Okay, so what I'm planning to do in October, which I am very, very excited about, is I am planning to try my hands on a little novella. And it will be Forgotten Splinters related. It will be in the universe, and it's going to be a bit of a prequel. So as you heard in the blurb, have you been listening? As you heard in the blurb, Artemis, how did I describe it in the blurb? Artemis, the goddess, Splinters. I'm pretty sure I said that. If not, you won't hear this, because I've cut it out. 1,000 years of war and strife and stuff, and then the story. And then the story starts. Now, I am writing a little novella about something that happened at the beginning of those 1,000 years, before, way before the story starts. but from Alma's perspective, and centered around her, because she's very, very important for the series and for the first book. And if you have not gathered from the blurb, if you have not, I did something wrong with the blurb. Lavender, soothe me. Actually, chamomile. Chamomile, soothe me. So, I am planning to write a little bit of novella. The story of it's already planned. I say, by the way, that I'm a discovery writer, and I am. And when I say the story is planned, it's planned in here with music videos and scenes and feels. And vaguely on paper. Vaguely. I might make another video about my process on that at some point. But yes, so that novella is already planned, and I am going to write it in October because I am planning to, after the first book is released, relatively quickly afterwards. I haven't quite decided yet, but I think it's going to be out for free or very, very cheap as sort of a first taste into the world, into Alamus, into taste the goddess. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. As a first insight into my world, into my writing style, whether you like it, and then people can, for readers that weren't quite sure whether or not they want to pick up the book yet, they can pick up the novella first, get a taste, and then decide whether or not they want to commit to an epic. So I'm really excited to write that, and that's planned for October. Then I'm hoping that I can do that. I can do it in just October because it's not going to be too long. And last summer for my second draft, I have done crazy amount of word counts. I don't want to do that again, but I think I can write a novella in a month. I mean, this is all also if, I don't finish the draft off a few spots past the sun. I know the title of my book. I don't have to look it up. All these accusations. You've made me out of kombucha. So hopefully I will have a little bit more time than just October to work on that. Let's see. And in November, I am not doing the full NaNoWriMo again. No. But what I will be doing is transcribing the handwritten book, the handwritten draft, onto the computer, start doing the little edits. I wrote some of Goddess of Limbo by hand too. As I said, sometimes it's a necessity for me just because of certain chronic conditions. I noticed that sometimes I stay very close to what I've written, and sometimes I just take the scene and go off in a completely different direction. So it's going to be sort of a second draft in November. That's what I have planned. And I'm planning to transcribe the whole thing because technically, it's already written. So it shouldn't take as long as writing new stuff. And it shouldn't be longer than like 70,000 words. I say now, Leia, don't make it too long. Shall we trust her? Let's trust her. And then in December, I'm gonna get my book copy edited back. So then formatting, proofreading, arcs. That is enough for today. I will talk about 2021, 2021, 2021, 22, and 23 in another video. I am not good with numbers. As you've gathered, one of my main characters is a brilliant physicist, Ellie, and she... None of her chapters went by without me, staring at least an hour at physics formulas, and then physics for beginners, and then physics for children, and trying to understand. And it worked eventually, but I'm just the furthest away from physics, and she is the furthest onto physics. Let's get physical. So, yeah, that's fun. And I'm going to do something really exciting now. You ready? I'm going to open the windows and turn my fan back on. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining me in my Kozy Kombucha Time. I hope you had a nice beverage. I should have told you that at the beginning. Anyway, if you like this video, please like it, subscribe, and share it with someone who would enjoy as well. We create videos. Me and my wife create videos every Tuesday and Thursday. And you can follow us on social media at Story Manifestors. At Story Manifestors on Instagram. StoryManifestors.com is our website. We've got a newsletter there where we send out inspiring stuff, and we also offer writing services such as manuscript critiques, sensitivity reads, character interviews, which are really fun, story fix, a quick way to unstuck yourself, and something else that I don't remember right now, but there's more things there. Go check it out. We also now have a Forgotten Splinters Instagram account. So I've been mentioning that I've been making marketing material. By the time this video is out, I will have made some and posted it here. So go join us, it'll be fun. You can also follow my personal Instagram account at lea.falls. And my wife too. Wait, she's not in this video. Should I mention her? She's mentioned. Oh, I have descriptions. She's mentioned in the descriptions. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a lovely week. Have a cool beverage. Love you. Bye.